just finished reading this and I want to talk about it. Now this says on the back right here, a new feminist translation. It's not. By any stretch of the imagination is this a feminist translation. There are 6 women that have prominent roles in this book, in this story. And not once is any of those used for any kind of feminist thing. There's a lot of men boasting about being men, and it's a very manly story, and none of that is diminished in any way. The only thing I can really say about this is that it's not a particularly good translation, and it's got nothing to do with feminism. It's just not a good translation. It's a bit garbage. She bounces from old language to very modern language. I mean, fucking #blessed is in fucking Beowulf, for fuck's sake. But I want to take a moment to just read all of this garbage on the back here. 20 years after Seamus Heaney's translation of Beowulf, and 50 years after the translation that continues to torment students around the world, there is a radical new verse interpretation. It's not an interpretation. Verse interpretation of the epic poem by Dahvana Headley, which brings to light elements never before translated into English. Fuck off. Never before translated into English. Are you fucking kidding me right now? It's like this entire poem has been translated a million fucking times, and you're going to sit there and tell me that you suddenly found something that other people missed. Scholars have been looking at this thing for 170 fucking years, and you found something that they fucking missed. Are you kidding me right now? It's just filled with such bullshit and garbage. Never before translated into English. The entire fucking thing has been translated into English word for fucking word, and it's been interpreted over and over and over again, and you found something new, did you? Why didn't you fucking put it in the book then, if you found something new? Because there's nothing in here that's fucking new. A man seeks to prove himself as a hero, a monster seeks to silence his territory. He had a lot of opportunities to silence his territory, but he waited until this big building was built and everyone started enjoying themselves, and then he started to silence his territory, by the way. His territory. His territory was the fens and the swamps, because that's where he stayed. A warrior seeks to avenge her murdered son. Well, murder is a legal term. Let's be honest about that. And under the law, and of course, Dahvana Headley, in her introduction, her very long 34-page introduction, talks again about the whole Jane Chance thing about Grendel's mother being the only person who actually obeyed the law. Fuck you, I've got something on that coming real soon as well. That's just bullshit. Avenged her murdered son. The dragon ends it all. The familiar components of the epic poem are seen with a novelist's eye towards gender, genre, and history. This shits on the history. It shits on the genre, and it does nothing with the gender except it makes the dragon female. Apart from that, there is no gender equality. There is no feminism. There is no making big burly men bad and little women, peace weavers, more powerful than they are already in translations like the one from Tom Shippey. All of this so far is bullshit. It's just a selling point. But we'll get to this in just a second as to why I think they've done this. Where was I? Beowulf has already been a tale of entitlement and encroachment, of powerful men seeking to become more powerful, and one woman seeking justice for her child. Encroachment of men seeking entitlement and encroachment, men becoming more powerful and powerful. Yeah, that's just the way things were. Sorry to tell you that, but you know, 1600 years ago, that's just how shit was back then. People wanted to expand and build bigger territories and take territories from other people. That's just the way things were. And I guess you didn't like that. Where was the next bit? And they becoming more powerful, and one woman seeking justice for her child. Her child, in this case being Grendel, killed and ate 30 men and then terrorized the entire village for 12 years. Revenge. Maybe what you should have done was stop your child from killing people. for 12 years and eating them. Maybe if you'd have done that sooner, maybe if you raised your kid right, this wouldn't have happened. You think? Fucking Carmelo Anthony just came into my head then. Raise your kid fucking right, and then maybe you won't stab people in the chest. But this version brings new context to an old story. No, it doesn't. It literally does nothing. It's not even a good translation of the story. It adds nothing. Literally nothing. While crafting her contemporary adaptation, Headley unearthed significant shifts lost over centuries of translations. Centuries, plural? 150 years? To be fair, it has been about 211 years, I think. Over centuries. It's like they're trying to peg this book and this woman as this scholar who's unearthed all this new stuff, and now she's put it in this book. She's unearthed nothing new. I've got translations that are far older than this. I mean, I can go back to a translation from 1870. For fuck's sake. Now I've got fucking Ardy Falk here. I've got Seamus Heaney. I've got Tolkien, right? Tolkien's translation was what? Just after the Second World War, I think? Or just before, was it 1930? Yeah, just before the Second World War. And apparently she found new things. Not a scholar of Anglo-Saxon, not a scholar of Old English. A novelist who likes, well, actually, she likes the Grendel's mother more than anything else. So I was expecting that portion to be different, but it was exactly the same as every other translation. So why did they call this a feminist translation if it literally does nothing? And why have they put all this on here when it's literally all bullshit? Well, they're trying to sell a book, frankly. They have this woman. She wrote this one a while ago, The Mere Wife, which basically puts Grendel's mother down as a war veteran with PTSD. I'm interested. I'm going to give it a read. We'll see what that's like. And then some idiot convinced her to do this. She even said that she wasn't qualified to do it, but they convinced her otherwise, and she literally proved that she was not qualified to do it. It's filled with an old style alliterative verse, and then it'll have literally fucking #blessed. Oh, for fuck's sake. There are no guns of note on anyone but me and my geets. I'm not joking. That literally is what it fucking says right there. Oh my god. Grendel was aware he had nothing to fear here. Your sword's soft, son. I think that she's trying to say something there. No shit. Literally right there. No shit. And she does this all the way through it. So you'll be reading it in a very alliterative way. It's like right at the end. So after Beowulf killed the dragon and we're going through that whole process, it's very much what you would expect from a standard translation of Beowulf. And we go and you go through it, and then she just throws in this fucking stupid modernisms. So to sum it up, literally fucking right there. So to sum it up. And it just kind of pulls you out of where you were. You're in this really cool headspace of this old alliterative verse poem. And then she just yanks you right out of it. She does this all the way through the fucking book. It happens more in the kind of like the first two parts, the Grendel and the Grendel's mother part. When we get to the dragon part and he goes home to Yeatland, it's not happening as much. Oh, for fuck's sake. Bro, fate can fuck you up. Now, they've labelled it as a feminist translation, I believe, for one or both of the following. Dahvana Headley is a feminist, and she did the translation. Or rather, she probably looked at other translations and just adapted the words. Because she's a feminist and she did this, it is literally a feminist translation. So it's not through a feminine lens or feminist lens as it's been pegged out before, and like the Odyssey. So that's a lie. It's not a feminist translation, not really. The other reason is I think maybe they're trying to get women to read it, because Beowulf is a very masculine story. It's a story for men, really. It was written about a very kind of like manly time, you know, the heroic age and all that. And maybe they were just trying to sell it to women, which is why they wrote all this nonsense on here as well, all this bullshit. Where was that fucking... Oh my god. Oh, what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find something here for a second. First thing I need to tell you is that, have you read it? The first thing I need to tell you is that you have to read it now. No, I don't care if you've read the original. If you've read the original. This is a book called Jason Sheehan, the NPR books. I don't care if you've read the original before. Who's read the original? How many people have actually read the original? And I mean like the manuscript. If you can be more specific as to what original do you mean, if I can like Johansen Falkland's fucking handwritten original, or I mean, what are we talking about here? I don't care what you think of when you think of Beowulf, of any of the hundreds of other translations, because this version, Headley's version, is entirely different thing. It is its own thing. No, actually, fucking, what was your name again? Jason. It's not its own thing. It's not its own thing. It's literally just a translation of Beowulf, as there are fucking 160 others. It's just shit. It's just a shit translation. Now, the very first word in the Beowulf poem is what, right? And then she put in here the word bro. And I annotated that with fuck right off. If you read the introduction, 34-page introduction, she actually explains why she chose the word bro. Now, what is something you would say to get people's attention before you start telling a story. And she said, I think she's from Idaho, she was in a bar, and I was in the old timer into the bar, and when he wanted to tell stories about, you know, these old timer type stories, he'd shout bro to get people's attention. So she understood it that way. And so that first bro, yes, I said first, that first bro I can let go because it's personal to her. So I can let that one go, the first bro, even though I write fuck right off. I also said it right here, probably one of the worst intros to Beowulf I've ever read. Yeah. Oh my God. I was reading it then and I just reminded myself just how fucking terrible it is. So that first bro, I can let go of that because she explains why she used it, and it's actually a pretty good explanation as to why she used it. But it's not the only one. She uses it over and over and over again, and it's one of the dumbest fucking things. It literally pulls you out of everything, and it's really annoying. So in the very end, the very last page, they did all this grieving the way men do, but bro, no man knows, not me, not you, how to get to goodbye. This guy is tired. Oh my God. He rode hard, he stayed thirsty. He was the man. He was the man. That's how she ends. And I just annotated it with just fucking know again. I said just fucking know a lot as annotations in this whole thing because Jesus fucking Christ. So, in conclusion, is this a translation through a feminist lens? No, it's just a translation. Is it a good translation? No, it's a fucking awful translation. I wouldn't recommend anyone read this. I can't recommend this to anyone. If you actually want to read Beowulf, go get yourself a Penguin Classic or the Seamus Heaney, because they're great reads. And if you want to dive in a bit deeper, get the one with that Tolkien did. It's a prose translation, but it's got a lot more stuff in it and a lot more breakdown of the poem itself. If you really want to push the boat out, I can go get Tom Shippey's translation because it's probably the most accurate Old English translation. If you want to have some fun, go by the one that William Morris did in 1870. Or if you want to really go crazy, go by the Beowulf manuscript from, what is this again? The Dunbar Oaks Medieval Library, because that translation is done by R.D. Falk, which is, again, another Anglo-Saxon scholar. But this also has all the other manuscripts that are actually in the Beowulf manuscript, the Noel Codex, because there's 5 things in there altogether. But would I ever recommend this? I'd recommend this for the trash heap. That's it.